Every year it seems like the summer months are getting hotter and hotter, and this weather can make you want to drink rather than eat. When the weather makes food seem daunting, there are always vegetables and fruits. While foods such as broccoli, cantaloupe, melon, and grapefruit are great for their high water content, there are other foods with some surprising summer health benefits. Strawberries. Eat a lot of vitamin C rich berries and fruits such as strawberries, blueberries, and kiwi during the summer months. It is said that the vitamin C and phytonutrient act like a natural sunblock and help to prevent you from burning. Cucumbers. Cucumber contains mostly water, which helps your skin to stay hydrated. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are full of antioxidants that help to protect your skin from UV radiation. The vitamin C and the lycopene found in tomatoes help to keep the skin hydrated and fight free radicals. Cooked tomatoes contain even more lycopene than fresh ones. Lycopene has other health benefits including improving heart health and preventing diabetes. Watermelon. This fruit works just like tomatoes. It is rich in antioxidants which limit the UV radiation on your body. It is also full of water and helps you stay hydrated. But don't overeat, as the sugar may increase the blood sugar levels. Lettuce. Leafy greens are high in vitamin A and help to protect you from UV radiation. It also limits dryness and irritation of skin. Eat greens twice a day for the best results. Carrots. The beta-carotene in carrots, which the body converts to vitamin A, has been linked to reduce reaction to sunburn. Pomegranate or pomegranate. This fruit is extremely rich in antioxidants and has anti-inflammatory agents which help your skin to resist cell damage caused by UVA and UVB rays. Pomegranate has been proven to be beneficial to our health and fighting against aging and sun-damaged skin. You can eat the fruit or drink the fresh pomegranate juice with ice. Plan your meals and snacks around hydrating foods that require little to no preparation so that you can survive the heat of the summer. 10 minutes to your...
All right, so those are some tips that you can follow with the summer coming up. Foods you can eat, what you can drink to prevent what we're about to talk about. So anyone can become dehydrated, but the condition is especially dangerous for young children and the elderly. Well, here to talk to us about this is pediatrician Dr. Lisa Franklin Banton. Good morning, ma'am. It's good to see you.
Same here. Good morning.
Hey, Doc. Long time I don't see you. You all right?
I am well. I'm very well. Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah, man. That's really good to see you. Let's start there. What is dehydration?
Okay, so basically dehydration is when there's a lack of, to put it simply, water in the body. As simple as that.
And what causes that?
So there are a few things. So we can look at it from the point of view of not taking in enough water, as simple as too much water coming out of the system, or if we're losing water by means such as fever, sweating. So losing water or not taking in enough fluids.
Yeah, so how will I know if I'm dehydrated? Because sometimes I feel normal. I mean, I don't feel as if I haven't drank enough water for the day. I didn't drink 8 glasses. How do I know that I'm dehydrated?
So, something as simple as feeling thirsty. I don't think most of us realize that we're dehydrated until we start to feel thirsty. And when you start to feel thirsty, it means that you are already dehydrated. So that is perhaps the most common sign for most of us that we are dehydrated.
Is it different for children as it is for adults, the dehydration feeling?
It's not, the feeling is not necessarily different. I mean, one of the things that kids may have is that they may start to feel a little low in energy. So they may become a little lethargic. But when that starts to happen, it means that you are really dehydrated. So we kind of classify dehydration as mild dehydration, moderate dehydration, and severe dehydration. So when you're mildly hydrated, you may notice that your mouth feels a little dry. So you're not producing as much saliva as you're supposed to. And again, as I said, you may start to feel thirsty. So those are perhaps the two things that someone may pick up. As a physician, I may notice other things. So I may notice, depending on the age of the baby. So the age of the person. So for a younger baby, I may notice that what we call the fontanelle, which is that soft spot at the top of the head. When I run my hand over it, it may feel a little depressed. So that I may notice. I may also notice that when I look at the eyes, that the eyes seem a little dry. And again, when I look in the mouth, I may notice that there's not a lot of saliva in the mouth. But those aren't things that the average person would notice. I mean, what they would feel is the feeling of thirst and not producing as much saliva in the mouth.
Yeah, Dr. Lisa, it still amazes me that I've been in sports for so long, specifically football, and I don't drink a lot of water. I do drink a lot of coconut water. Is water the
Yes.
only way that you could fix back yourself?
No, definitely not. So coconut water is fine. And it really depends. So when we become dehydrated, so one of the ways that we can become dehydrated is things like vomiting, diarrhea, losing it from sweat. And when we do lose a lot of sweat, there are other, what we call electrolytes that we are losing. So you can rehydrate yourself in other ways other than water. Now, I know a lot of us think that sports drinks may be the better way to go. The sports drinks, a lot of them do have a lot of sugar, so we don't necessarily want you to use that as a way of rehydrating. Coconut water is something that we do recommend. So water, coconut water, and we have specialized fluids that have those electrolytes or those other substances that you're losing that you can also use to rehydrate. I mean, I must say though that most kids, they don't like those special fluids. Those fluids we call oral rehydration fluids. And a lot of the kids really don't like the taste of them. What I tell parents to do though is that to freeze them. So they tend to tolerate them better when they're frozen, like in ice popsicles, as opposed to just drinking them.
Yeah. What about fruits? We just had a feature just now. Can fruits get us back to where we should be?
For sure. So things like watermelon, that has a lot of water content. So there are some fruits that do have a high content of water and things like sodium and potassium. So those fruits definitely would help with bringing back fluids into the body.
Yeah. How long does it take for one to recognize that you're dehydrated?
Boy, again, I mean, when we're speaking about younger kids can get dehydrated so quickly. I mean, it can happen literally in front of your eyes. So if they're losing fluids, so if we have a child who's having like severe vomiting, severe diarrhea, I mean, that child can become dehydrated very quickly. So it really depends on the method by which you're becoming dehydrated. So if it is that you're outside and you're playing, running up and down, you're sweating a lot, that can happen for a pretty long time before you realize, hold on, I'm feeling a little lethargic, my mouth is feeling a little dry, maybe I should go and drink some water. But if you're losing fluids via other means, in kids, the most common thing is vomiting and diarrhea, having high fevers, that can happen pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's a misconception, I think, when it comes to temperature, that people say you can only get dehydrated in warmer temperatures. What about in cold temperatures?
You can. So that is that's very true. So in cold temperatures, we still sweat, and sweating is a way of us losing fluids from the body. So even though it's not hot, we are still sweating, we still are losing fluids. So definitely you can still get dehydrated if you are in cooler temperatures.
What else could happen to you if you are dehydrated? I mean, before you get to the water, how serious I hate to ask this question, but can you die if you don't get...
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there are some signs that you would start to notice. So one of the things is that you may not be passing a lot of urine. So the body is knowing that, okay, you're not taking enough fluids. We have to try to retain as much fluids as we can. And one of the ways that the body may do that is by holding on to your urine. Or you may notice, another sign that you may notice that you're not drinking enough water is that your urine is very concentrated. So it's not nice. Your urine should look like water. And a lot of us, that's not happening. So, it becomes very yellow, it becomes very concentrated. It's telling us that the body is holding on to that fluid as much as possible. And yes, you can die from dehydration. So if it is that you've lost enough fluids and you're not replacing them, you can definitely die. Now, this is something that would hardly happen in an adult because, as I said, adults would tend to realize the signs that are happening. I'm feeling thirsty, my mouth is dry, and I will replace that fluid. But for a child who cannot tell you that they're feeling this way, and if you miss the signs that that child is not having a lot of wet diapers, that the mucous membranes, as we call them, are looking dry, that the eyes are beginning to literally go back in the face. I mean, I've seen kids so dehydrated that when you look at them, the eyes are sunken, as we say, so they're literally going back in the face. That child becomes very lethargic. The heart starts to beat really quickly because we're trying to see how we can get that fluid moving around. So if you miss those signs, believe you me, that child will die.
Dwayne mentioned earlier that if he didn't get the 8 glasses of water a day, I don't usually. I'm doing my best to drink some water now. But I've heard that so long, it sounds like it's a rule. So what you do, you spread it out during the day. I can just sit down and just drink 8 glasses one time and I'm good for the day. How does this work?
Well, you can sit down and drink 8 glasses of water one time. But I mean, most persons aren't going to do that. What I usually say is that, okay, you know you need to have 8 glasses of water throughout the day. Start to time it. So you're up for what? About 12 hours a day. Start to divide it up. So you know that if you get up at 6 o'clock, that by 8 o'clock, you should have had at least 2 glasses of water. By 12 o'clock, you should have had an additional 2. So start to space it out throughout the day. There's some persons who are very disciplined and they may have a jug of water that they keep by themselves, by next to them throughout the day, and they know, okay, I must finish this jug of water by X amount of time, or I must go through 2 or 3 jugs of this water for the day. But not all of us are that disciplined.
Yeah. Okay. It is not only so good to see you, but I want to thank you on behalf of the entire country, even if you're not specifically dealing with people who are infected, because you're a medical doctor. I'm certain that you've come across some stuff that we don't even know what's going on. I thank you again on behalf of all of us. I pray that you will stay safe with you and your colleagues and your family. And it's always wonderful to have you on Smile Jamaica. God bless you.
Same here. Thank you so much, Neville, and you guys stay safe as well.
Come on. Dr. Lisa Franklin Banton, pediatrician.
Yeah, up next, summer activities for kids. We'll be right back.
10 minutes to your health.